Hey everyone, this is your friendly neighborhood cat mama Ria Boss, and I'm here celebrating Mother's Day with GLITZ Africa. Wow. Well, first of all, she wasn't Ria, she was Maria. She was also, or still is, I guess you could say, an only child, so very much in her head, very much a dreamer, extremely curious, always talking to herself, or I used to talk to my hands, actually. They were my friends. Very into cartoon characters, like cartoons were like literally my friends, like Dexter over here, or like Mickey Mouse over there. I feel like I was raised by like cartoons and comic books and all those kinds of things. Ria, as a child, was very loved. My mom and my grandmother raised me, and so I was surrounded by women, powerful women. Ria hadn't yet discovered that there was power in her voice, though. She knew she wanted to sing pretty much from the time she came out of the womb. But she didn't know her power just then, because I think Ria as a child was also shy. And also Ria as a child was definitely not into glam. She was a tomboy. Heavy. Yeah, I guess that's Ria as a child. I think the fondest memory, what is the fondest memory of my mom and my grandmother? I wonder if I should do a joint one or I should do a separate. Let me give you like a joint one. I think I'm very fortunate that my mom and my grandmother were always constantly traveling. And I was actually called my grandmother's handbag, because everywhere my grandmother would go, or anywhere my mom and my grandmother go, I'd be there with them. But I really distinctly remember, I think it was one summer, where myself, my mother, and my grandmother went to Belgium together. And there's this picture that we took on some stairs, like standing as like 3 generations of Bossman women, that, I don't know, every time I see that picture, I feel extremely proud. Extremely proud because I had particular access as a young child that I feel like was extremely fortunate and very lucky of me. You know, not everybody has the privilege to be able to travel very early on, so I thank them for that. But it also was a reminder that I was super loved. Like, my mom and my grandmother held me down. So I guess that's a really good memory. But a memory of my mom, this woman. Okay, let me not give you the embarrassing one. I'll give you, I remember one time we were driving on the Tema motorway, and I started singing the song Tomorrow by the singer Annie. No, in the film Annie, sorry. And my mom stopped the car, like she parked, like, and she was like, "You have a very true voice," which at the time I didn't know what it meant, but she explained that you can sing something exactly as you've heard it. And I think from that point, I started seeing my voice and a lot differently. And I think that was the moment where some things changed for me. I realized I had a gift as opposed to something I could just do. So that's a really fond memory of my mom, yeah. To be fair, I feel like my mother has always given me the freedom. My grandmother was definitely like a typical Ghana woman, so the tattoos and stuff, she was not very happy, to be fair. I did them when I like left Ghana, so when I came back she was like, "Hey, what is going on?" But I think that regardless of let's say my grandmother not necessarily understanding, I had to kind of bring her into my world, which was express to her why it was I expressed myself in this way. And when you're able to communicate with, I think, especially the older generation, it's helpful. My grandmother, God rest her soul, by the time she passed, she was like super into my like tattoos and my piercings. But my mom has always been she's been a pretty progressive mom, I would say. The only thing she told me was that the only time you can get your own tattoo is when you can pay your own bills. So what did I do when I got my first paycheck? I got a tattoo on my side. And I hid it very well for 2 years. And I even lied that it was henna. Sorry, Mom. I think the one character trait I got from both of them, as much as I can't believe I'm about to admit this, my mom is going to be like, I think resilience. I know sometimes women, you know, we don't like always like referring to ourselves as like having to be strong or having to be resilient, you know, because sometimes we just want to be. But I think something I learned from both of them, especially watching my grandmother growing up and seeing my mom being like the only woman in rooms filled with men and owning them, was resilience, and was that, you know, in any room you find yourself, own it. So I think both of them, you know, my grandmother had a very outspoken personality, and I think I'm a lot like her, but my mom can also be very stern and outspoken in her own way. And so I think, yeah, I got their resilience, and probably how outspoken they are. Also, they're like fashion killers, you know, so yeah. There's something my mother and my grandmother have always said. Mostly my mother, though, she used to even say to grandma, is to accept the good. It is a phrase that my mom has said over and over again my whole life. And pretty much it means that no matter the situation you're in, even if it's negative, whatever the situation, you have to accept the good in it. And I think that even as stubborn as I have been in my own journey to self, I've always sort of had that in the back of my mind, like, accept the good. And when you kind of hold that, you kind of feel good. Yeah. My mom is a lawyer by profession. She worked for the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice. She has had her own consultancy firm. My mom is a powerful woman. On top of that, I mean, now she's like Ghana's ambassador to France. I mean, the woman is like a corporate and like diplomatic body. But you would assume, right, that she's done all those things, so like my path is very different. But I'll tell you, my mom was in a band growing up. She played the guitar. My mom writes poetry. She's published. She was just in an anthology last year called H.E Noir. She's a published author. I've even done an art exhibition where I had poetry that she wrote for it alongside it. So my mom is extremely creative, but she did not have the luxury of parents who at the time saw that creative pursuit was going to make her the kind of money that I guess she kind of can have now, you know, because then I don't think they could have seen it. And my mom and her band, they played at Baden Powell High Street, like they were about to go on tour. My grandpa said, please. She even wanted to do linguistics. He was like, no, go and do the law. I mean, the law has, you know, helped my mom in tremendous ways. And I think that she always tells me that even though she didn't get to do exactly what she wanted to do, the path that she chose has also given her the same life that she wanted. And I think I really love my mom's perspective on life, because she's able to sort of, again, accept the good in like literally any situation. So I think the only way that we're super different, though, is also in the way we like outwardly express ourselves. My mom sometimes is like, why are you showing so much skin? Or like, you know, so much makeup. Or like your nails. Like my grandmother used to be like, these are my witch nails, you know? And of course the tattoos, my mom is like, you should stop, but unfortunately I'm getting my neck tatted next year, so sorry. But I think honestly being honest with my mother, and my mother also knowing who I am, you know, when you're transparent, they kind of know that however you express yourself, it's an extension of you. And so the expression shouldn't mean something negative or positive. It really just means that this is how, you know, I've chosen to sort of like show myself to the world. And she's been very, especially over the years and, you know, maybe more recent years, she's been a lot more accepting of how I choose to present myself, because I think she also sees that it gives me a certain level of confidence in myself. So shout out to my mama. Oh, wow. Charlie, that was when my mom was looking for straws. She used to say all kinds of things in the news. I think the weirdest thing, though, maybe we've heard, is like she's running for president or like she's running for vice president, and none of us knew. So we found out like in the newspapers, and we were like, and so I looked at my mom like, oh, you're running for, you're going to be president? You're going to be vice president? I didn't know. So that was like super weird, especially because like, even though my mom is currently working, let's say, for the government, she's always been extremely neutral, and even in her position as an ambassador, she's super neutral, and I think that's because, you know, she's worked for human rights, and so really at the core of it all, she is a human rights advocate, and so yeah. Weird. That was weird because it was like my mom, president. No, that's weird. I mean, she would be a fantastic president. Hello, but I'm just saying I don't want her to like stress and get old too quickly. I need her in my life. She's my mom. I don't need her to be your president. You know? Yeah. Stubborn. Ooh, stubborn. Panicky, like me. We have anxiety. Powerful. Beautiful. And the best mom ever. That's like 4 words, but yeah, the best mom. Even though I know we be fighting, she's the best mom ever. Mom, I know that sometimes we butt heads, and I know that sometimes you want me to call you more than I usually do, but I think it's because I'm really invested in making sure that I can create a life that you're proud of and that I can take care of you the way you've consistently taken care of me. I'm fortunate to be able to be a creative in an environment where my parents support me. It is a privilege that I don't take lightly, and so I want to thank you, and I love you, and happy Mother's Day. So Cat Mama World, which is a show that I launched last year on my birthday, which is the Ria Boss experience, is going to be every single year. We're going to do the next one again on my birthday this year. But prior to Cat Mama World, we're going to be doing Cat Mama World pop-ups. So please be looking out on my socials for all of that. Apart from that, I also work hand in hand with 2 amazing organizations. Black Girls Glow is one of them, and I happen to be their creative team lead and workshop facilitator. Our residency program is going to be this summer in July. So look out for that. Look out for our women. If you support Black Girls Glow, you're supporting Ria Boss. I also work with Church of Stories and Jane Can Do, amazing production houses. And yeah, just, you know, Ria Boss is also more than just a musician. You know, I'm also a creative content creator, I guess you could say. Like, I do voiceovers. And one thing I want y'all to look out for is when I start acting, because I'm coming for your Oscars. Thank you. You can follow me at the Ria Boss. That's at TheRiaBoss on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. I'm trying. I haven't posted anything, so if you follow me, I'm sorry, but I'm trying. And yeah, and anywhere you see Cat Mama, that's probably me. So meow when you see me. Sweet mother, I no go forget you. Where you just suffer, you suffer for me. Sweet mother, I no go forget you. The way you suffer for me. I think that's all I know.